Let's make one thing clear, we will not overly compare the 2021 anime to the 2001 anime in these breakdowns, but we will compare to the source material, the manga, because this anime is being marketed as a true adaptation of the full manga containing 300 chapters. Episode 4 of Shaman King 2021 adapted chapters 18 to 24 of the manga. Having Ryu start the episode and show a flashback of his pompadour being chopped off by Ren, who is pretty much bullying him, sowed the seeds into making him feel sympathetic by contrasting Ryu to a magical, big bad, unapologetic prick like Tao Ren, puts things into perspective and whispers to the viewer, well, at least Ryu isn't as bad as Ren. This is how to redeem a character, how to start a proper redemption arc for Ryu, and it's done really well. It further reinforced by having Ryu's friends as well as Ryu tell us the meaning of finding the best place. The best place is where the heart can truly feel at ease, since the group of friends are misfits in this world. His friends speak about how Ryu saved them, again telling us that Ryu can't really be that bad. We see later on Ryu simply just can't catch a break, but overall it was a very complicated episode, an episode where if you really step back and think about it, you'd be quite impressed at what it achieved. We had double swerves, backstories and characters showcasing more of their personality and traits. We had a tease of what happens when the group slowly forms and how character dynamics are affected by others. We had emotional sequences which either really worked or just wasn't as effective in my opinion. Now the ending, the cliffhanger, felt so organic, it was great. Anyway, I'm Dimsy from the Shaman tribe. I can be your guardian ghost if you subscribe. We're gonna talk about episode 4 of Shaman King 2021 Best Place. Ryu started off the episode with his hair freshly chopped off from Ren, and it was a great seed to make him feel more sympathetic. Having Ryu and his gang showing a more comedic flair eased the viewer into feeling that they're more, again, sympathetic and they just can't catch a break. The gang settle in the bowling alley and name it the new best place. I can't express how relatable this is, but I'm going to keep my thoughts for a future video where I'm going to break down in heavy detail the nuance of Ryu's character throughout the whole of Shaman King, so be sure to subscribe for that. There were great moments that were plucked straight from the manga, such as Ryu was speaking about his best place and then he notices Anna and says, "Oh, young lady, do you want to be my best place?" And to which she says, "No, you got weird hair." It was great, such great use of comedy, and you're seeing when you compare it or when you look at the older anime, again I don't want to compare too much, but the comedy is just on another level, and that comedy usually comes from Anna, which we'll see way more of in this episode and in the future. Great. Yo and Manta are shopping for another wooden sword after breaking Ryu's during the Lee Pyron fight. A nice bit of continuity and foreshadows the focus on Ryu in this episode. What's funny but creepy is that Ryu is shattered when Anna says he has weird hair, but he, alongside his gang, follow her home. Okay, Ryu, okay. The shock factor of finding out that Anna and Yo are living together is made into a gag by both Manta and Ryu. Manta is our audience surrogate, but Ryu is our in-universe. He's just representing everyone else. Ryu's like, what? Cohabitants at this age? Again, straight from the manga, and it was really funny. Now, didn't Ryu try to get it on with Anna just a few moments ago? Considering that he's a decent amount older, yet he's shocked and disgusted that Anna and Yo are living together. Okay, the moral standard that Ryu has is sketchy at best. Now listen, Tokageroh's official intro before possessing Ryu was epic. It was creepy, it was scary, it was grand, it was whoa, it was weird. The skeleton spirit that slowly took form and took flesh was a great visual. It was also a nice touch that we are introduced to another character who actually knows about Amidamaru and the recent events, since Tokageroh has been scouting them out and he's been driven by revenge. My only question is, why wasn't he noticed by Yo or Anna before? Then again, he is literally a survivor. Stealth is his forte. Just when we're about to see Ryu display some semblance of a good, noble character, the newly possessed body via Tokageroh reverts converts him into being more of a mob boss-like character. Even worse, he's the king of the bandits. It was genuinely shocking when Tokageroh used Ryu's body to stab Muscle Punch. We saw the gang clearly say no, because although society may think that they're thugs, they don't steal because it's gonna make Ryu's mama mad. These guys aren't bad guys. It was a very badass scumbag move, and it painted Tokageroh as the real big bad, whilst Ryu was relegated to becoming a more sympathetic character. You're seeing the swerve, the double turn, alongside the gang who are also being painted as genuinely misunderstood but good guys. Manta, who was eavesdropping, gets caught and he becomes the bait. However, instead of waiting for Yo to come by to the bowling alley, Tokageroh, armed with Harusame and the gang, confront Yo in front of his house. Tokageroh wants revenge against Amidamaru for killing him 600 years ago. What makes it worse is that Amidamaru can't remember him, and this is where I love Shaman King. They interwove comedy so well, and it showed in the next couple of sequences. Firstly, Amidamaru and Anna interrupting Yo as he pisses, okay. But when Tokageroh reveals himself and threatens to kill Manta, Anna, without missing a beat, says she doesn't mind if he dies, just kill Manta, I don't mind. Such great dry humor that slices the tension perfectly. Yo and Amidamaru are left with two choices: either incapacitate Ryu or destroy Harusame. We get a flashback of Amidamaru and Mosuke as kids, which reinforces why Harusame is so important to Amidamaru. So when Amidamaru decides to break Harusame, it truly shows the honor and integrity of his character. Harusame is symbolic since Mosuke reforged his father's knife for Amidamaru to be the greatest swordsman. It was that, or using a bandit sword, something that Amidamaru despises. This shocks Tokageroh, who's essentially done for now. He's pretty much defeated, one and done. The Ryu gang suddenly punch up Ryu, who can't stand this change anymore. Obviously, they don't know that he was possessed by Tokageroh. The injured Muscle Punch narrates how much they treasure Ryu for helping them out and giving them a place when they're all outcast. This cements Ryu as being not only sympathetic but actually a good guy. Tokageroh loses the plot and he beats the crap out of them, and he exclaims that friends are bullshit and that he was alone. He had to survive all on his own. He threatens to kill Ryu, but of course Anna, being the blunt girl she is, says, go ahead, do it already. Like, wow, Anna man, calm down. This, unfortunately, although really funny, was watered down from the manga, where she states it's already past 8 and they got school tomorrow, so hurry the hell up and kill yourself. Such a savage, callous line, but that's Anna for you. She threatens to send Tokageroh to hell, to which he says he's not scared of hell because he's essentially lived through hell. And that's the kicker. Tokageroh had to eat his own mother's flesh to survive. Now that is hard. That is tough. Wow. Anna can't take it anymore. She says, look, I don't care. You're irredeemable. So I'm going to send you to hell all by myself. But just before she does, Yo stops her. Huh? Why? Yo, what are you doing? Yo was listening attentively to Tokageroh. He acknowledges that he's lonely and his behavior is a result of his circumstances. He says that his drive to survive made it impossible for him to trust, so he could never have friends. Like how Ryu and Amidamaru, whose friends were the sole reason why they didn't fall off the deep end, and they either helped them become strong or they just helped them carry on and not just die, essentially. Anna and Amidamaru heavily protest, but Yo says, listen, look, I'm going to offer my body for you, Tokageroh. You can just do whatever you want, just get rid of your regret and then go and rest in peace. Now, even though they were protesting heavily, Yo still goes through it. When Tokageroh possesses Yo, it was quite a moment. You saw the terror in Amidamaru's, Manta and Anna's eyes. Throughout the episode, we saw Anna showcase dry humor because of her lack of patience and supposed care or emotion, but this small window allowed us to see her vulnerability and love for Yo. It was a heart-wrenching moment watching her drop to her knees, drop her guard and showing her emotion. But immediately she says, if Yo dies, it's Manta's fault. What? To Manta's horror, this was a nice segue to incorporate comedy in a very super serious moment. That brief joke lightens the mood, so there is a perfect transition to Tokageroh crying as he can't understand why Yo would lend him his body. Amidamaru then states that there's a connection because Yo understands him. He understands the spirit. He understands why he feels the way he does. And it's perfect for Amidamaru to be the one narrating it because not only does he have a deep connection with Yo, but he also has a history with Tokageroh. Amidamaru acknowledges how strong Tokageroh is mentally, since he wouldn't have survived himself if he didn't have Mosuke. It was a very nice, touching moment. Tokageroh leaves Yo's body and Manta marvels at how much of a genius Yo is. Wow! But Anna says he's not a genius. That knucklehead didn't even have a plan. He just hoped it's all gonna work out. She says how dare he embarrassed me in public, and this highlights how out of character her display of emotion was, again showing the deep love she has for Yo. The whole story is wrapped up perfectly, with Yo stating how dumplings are tastier when you share them with your friends. The cliffhanger of the episode shows Ren as he's stating how he's going to win the shaman fight. It began with his involvement indirectly, and the episode ended with him being the sole focus. Overall, it was a very well-paced episode, especially considering that they adapted 8 or so chapters and it was extremely dialogue heavy and adapted again a lot of content. The music was used masterfully to add personality to the scenes. The animation was okay, but nothing to write home about. It seems like, look, we're not going to get a Demon Slayer level of animation as it feels somewhat static at times. The complaint I've seen, and I have as well, is that the 2021 anime doesn't feel too much like an anime. A stupid thing to say, yeah, I know, but it just feels like it's a direct animation of the manga panels, which is a dream for many people. But personally, I feel like this can potentially danger the originality and the charm an anime adaptation brings. For example, One Piece improves on the manga with this anime. The manga should always be used as the foundation. You should always be true to the manga, always. But you should also add things so the emotion is conveyed properly using the animation, the music, and the voice acting. Now, personally, I think the voice acting and the music is top notch. They could improve on the animation. Shaman King feels like in order to fill the 52 episode quota that adapts 300 chapters, it's literally going panel to panel. When doing this, it just makes the anime feel like it has an abrupt pacing, because the way things are transitioned on a piece of paper compared to a video is different, and this is why it just feels a bit abrupt. And again, sometimes having an abrupt level of pacing, it takes away from the emotion. The emotional stakes at times feel very, very absent. Now, we're only 4 episodes in, and this by far was the best episode yet, so I'm not going to shit on it. I'm just cautiously optimistic, but I'm going to reevaluate my stance after episode 12. Look, I really enjoyed this episode, and as I said earlier, it was very content dense in this episode. A lot happened and he achieved it very well. I now feel for Ryu. I learned more about Amidamaru, Yo, and Anna's character. Manta is taking the role to represent the viewer in the series. I didn't like how static and awkward the Ryu gang felt. They were just there. They were just going along until they decided to punch up Ryu, and they were in the background before that, poorly drawn and expressionless. At least show some level of movement, cut a few times every so often to their reaction, because remember, they have no clue what's happening. They're thinking, why is Ryu behaving this way? They got no idea that he's possessed. But that's just a very small nitpick. Otherwise, I really enjoyed this episode. What did you lot think? Tell me down below. Tell me your comments what you thought was the greatest strength, and were there any weaknesses of this episode? Make sure you subscribe to the Shaman Tribe. Take care.